Action. Welcome to the Beyond the Turf podcast, where we talk about all things college football. I'm Cooper.
I'm Jackson.
I'm Andrew.
We would really appreciate if you would all like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you know every time we post. We'll be posting a couple times a week. Comment what you think on the topics that we talk about throughout the video. But with that, we're gonna get right into it. So, um, we're gonna start with some of the biggest news that's hit college football in the last year. USC and UCLA going to the Big Ten. Honestly, I think this could go two ways. Ruining college football, or it could be really good. You get matchups that you don't normally get. So, Cooper, what are your thoughts, bro?
Man, I mean it's a very diverse subject because you can get matchups that you've never seen in college football ever, unless it's a national championship or something like that. But you got to think about the players. Like, these dudes are coming. You got 18-year-old kids that might be starting at some of these colleges that have never been on a plane, and they're going to be flying what, 10, 12 hours to some of these places
Thousands of miles.
just to
Just
just
about
to
every
play a
time.
football game. Like, you got to think about the not only like I've been a college football player for 2 months, and the mental strain that it puts on your body just from being in practices and like meetings is insane. I couldn't imagine flying and doing all that other stuff. It's just I couldn't.
Yeah, like he was saying, like the traveling and stuff, dude. Like I know, like some college football players and stuff, like some aren't as smart as others. You know what I'm saying? So like flying, being out of town all the time, trying to get that schoolwork done too. Like there's some
Exactly.
good and some bad about it. Like you said, like the matchups too might be good, like bigger TV deals and stuff like that. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's just kind of those two, like the conferences are starting to like differ from each other, and like two are kind of like just kind of taking leaps and bounds further than everybody else. Like with the Oklahoma and them moving as well, like it's just kind of almost like a domino effect, and it seems like everybody can do what they want to now, which is,
Exactly. It
I
seems like
mean, is a
nobody
good
has
thing. But
authority.
like, no, not at all anymore. Because I mean,
It
who's this to stop this from happening? Like continuing to happen, you know?
there's no one that's going to be able to stop it. I mean, I've heard that it's going to take the government to step in and put in some rules and regulations and stuff because the NCAA, you can see what they're doing with NIL and all that. I mean, it's supposed to be illegal to have boosters pay for kids to come to your school. You cannot give them an NIL deal or tell them anything about an NIL deal until after. But I mean, all these schools are doing it anyways. Hey, this is what you're going to get if you're going to come to my school. But you got to think about the travel too. Just like y'all said, it's a disadvantage, but an advantage as well on both sides of it. If you're the home team, if you're USC or UCLA, and you're getting schools traveling thousands of miles every single time they're coming to play at your house, I mean, that's an advantage for them every home game, unless they're playing each other. I mean, thousands of miles. That's gonna put a damper on some kids' moods, but also their away games. It's gonna be the same thing on them. But I mean, you're gonna get thousands of miles of travel. USC going to play Wisconsin in the snow after they travel for thousands of miles. I mean,
Like,
how's that gonna go down? Southern Cowboys playing in the snow, the rain, walking into the whiteout at Penn State. I mean, I don't think they have never seen those environments before in the Pac-12. I
no.
I fully believe that
No,
there's never been anything like that in the Pac-12. The Coliseum could be like that, but the market's just too big in LA for it to
Yeah.
get that
I,
big.
I think with the LA, you've got all these teams, like professional teams. Like, you've got the Rams, you got all the you got two professional football teams and two professional basketball teams, and like
MLB teams.
I think three professional baseball teams. Is it
There
three?
is. I thought it was two. It
yeah,
might be
the
three.
Dodgers, Angels, and well, San Francisco, but
Yeah.
it's close. But I
Yeah.
don't know if there's another one in LA.
Like it's just it's a lot of competition, and you go to places like Ohio State, where they are the college, like the Ohio State University.
They
It's
literally have a patent on the.
yes, it's going to be like it. I don't
They're
think they're gonna do it.
they won't be prepared. I think UCLA. I mean, they do all right in the Pac-12, and the Pac-12 is not anywhere close to the Big Ten. So I think they're going to struggle for sure. USC, they've been struggling, but they got a whole new system out there now with Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams and their recruiting. So we'll see how he can put that program together over there. I don't know. They may still struggle. So we'll see, because Michigan State plays defense, Michigan plays defense, and Lincoln Riley is known to fold under hard nosed football. So, and
Yeah,
I would
every now
know
and then.
firsthand
Yeah.
every
No,
once in a while.
I think it opens up to like a lot of recruiting opportunities too for them, which is like I know like it was saying something about like UCLA AD and USC AD was talking about like being a little bit more position of power, and that was definitely more the Big Ten than it was the Pac-12. So I mean, I think it opens a lot of like recruiting opportunities. But I mean, again, you don't want to like all these kids like traveling. Some kids don't want to go that far away from home, you know. But like just opening up that kind of door to having more athletes come in, maybe more like transfers come in as well, and I guess more like sponsors and stuff for your NIL deals.
Well, for the Big Ten, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you get a whole new media market in LA. I mean, the LA doesn't normally Pac-12 country doesn't really care about college football that much. But you get a market like LA, you can go out there and recruit. You can tell these recruits, if you're Ohio State now, if you're Michigan, you go to LA, you go out there to California and be like, look, you're gonna come and play here. We're playing here. I mean, it's not like your parents won't get to see you.
Yeah,
We will be here. So twice with UCLA, USC. So for them, I think it's a good move. I think it's a big money move for them, trying to keep up with the SEC, but it's not even close between the two. I think it's disrespectful to compare the two leagues.
When it comes to money, I think it's a good move. When it comes to views, I think it's a good move. But when it comes to like the college football like stigma, I think it's ruining it. Like it's
yeah,
becoming all about the views and the money and the fame and what your name can do instead of who can actually play football and who can actually perform. And it's just ruining it for me. For me it is, because I used to watch college football over professional football, because you see those dudes out there in professional football just doing it for the money. They'll throw fits every time they don't get the paycheck that they want, and then you'll get kids that aren't getting the NIL deals that they want, and they'll transfer. Like it's just stupid. Like
yeah.
that's my two cents.
College supposed to be a little bit more of the the grit and grind to get to the NFL and get paid. But I mean, you got I think what was it? Bryce Young was like the first to have like the highest NIL deal. It was like over $1 million, like 7 figures. But I mean, like, and I've seen some others like other schools, like other players talking about like just sitting out and waiting to get drafted. I mean, they already got paid. Might as well just go ahead and sit out until they get drafted.
Literally.
And I mean, that is kind of
Ni-
ruining it for me too, in a sense. What were you saying, Jackson?
Nico, Tennessee's
Xavier,
quarterback commit, 5-star
Gosh.
2023,
11.
$8 million.
Well,
11.
I thought it was 11.
Either
Either
way, I
way,
mean,
that's a lot of money.
he hasn't even played a down of football yet at a collegiate level, and he's making that much money. I agree. It's
You
ridiculous.
see,
But you also, I mean, time zone too. Like if Michigan goes to play USC, it can't be a night game in LA. If it's a night game in LA, it's gonna be like 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock in Michigan. What? How are they going to do that? How are they going to pull that off? Just no primetime games for USC if it's at home, I guess. I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I mean,
Those views will go down.
I think that there's a huge difference when we talk about USC and UCLA trying to match Texas and Oklahoma's move going to the SEC. Big Ten got the best that they could outside of Notre Dame in this instance, I guess. But Texas and OU, I don't even think it's compared. Like you can't compare the two. I think the
No.
SEC is with Texas and OU is way stronger than Big Ten with UCLA and USC.
Without a doubt.
I mean,
Yeah.
when was the last time UCLA or USC even made a college football playoff? Have they ever?
I-
Before the college football playoffs, because I mean, I think the last time USC was like just straight up relevant, and just like I mean, they were the best at one time when Pete Carroll was the coach, but that was a long
Pete
time ago
Carroll,
when they had Reggie.
Reggie
Yeah, they had
Bush.
Reggie
Yeah.
Bush. Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
while back.
yeah,
They might
for
have
sure.
been good when they had Sam Darnold. That I mean, was
Yeah, I
that?
think they were decent when they had Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, the Big Ten has to be counting on Lincoln Riley, honestly, putting it all on his way. Or they just don't care if they're good or not. They're just going to bring them in. I don't know. If they're trying to match OU and Texas to the SEC, it's just not going to happen. OU has they show up to the playoffs and get smoked every time. But one of these days, old Brent Venables, he's about to win us a national championship. So y'all just go ahead and wait on that one.
Oh
But
gosh.
All right.
it's still a lot closer than either UCLA or USC. I mean, Texas really isn't relevant right now,
Yeah.
but they are one of the biggest brands in college football always, no matter
That's
win,
And
lose.
they just got Arch Manning too. We'll see what happens with that.
that's where I was about to go with it. Texas, you could say that UCLA and USC schools are like media schools and just want it like the views. They want to get people there. But you also got to think Texas had one of the biggest broadcasting programs for football. Like it had its own station on TV for football. And you got to think of how they're going to use that now with going to the SEC. I think they have to go away with it though, since because I think SEC has since the SEC has their own broadcasting program, I think they have to do away with it. So you also got to think about what that could do for them too.
Yeah. I think like I was saying about the recruiting, like going to the Big Ten for them, I think it's a lot bigger for Texas and OU because I mean you got a lot of Texas has some of the best athletes in the country like coming out of college, and I mean they're coming to, like they're going to A&M, they're going to Arkansas, they're going to Alabama because they want to be in the SEC because I mean obviously it's the best conference, but I think it opens a lot more doors for them recruiting wise than it does for like USC and UCLA.
And if you're a kid, where do you want to play? Big Ten or SEC football? SEC
SEC.
football, 100% if you can. That's what you want to do. That's just like their slogan. It just means more in the SEC. I mean, it does. Who was it? Clemson. Clemson. What other school outside of the SEC has won the national championship outside of Clemson? I mean,
Ohio
it's since the
State was
playoffs.
relevant a little while. Oh, since the playoffs.
Yeah.
I guess that's it.
Who's won it? Nope. You get
I guess
Georgia.
that's it.
You get Bama. You get LSU. You get Clemson.
You said outside of Ohio State and Clemson,
No, Ohio State. Yeah, I guess they did win
they
Did they
won
win a
one.
net? Yeah, they won one. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
they sure did. And then who else was it? Was it Florida State or Oregon? It was Florida State. Florida State
I think
won
that
one
was
too.
before.
So that's with Jameis. So that's
Yeah.
I mean, the SEC is just overall more dominant than the Big Ten can even believe or imagine.
Speaking of Florida State, they're wanting to join the SEC too.
I
There's
think I saw something about that too. There's like other schools trying to move, and again, like I think it's just that domino effect from Oklahoma and Texas. I mean, that was like a big move, and now everybody's kind of want to do the same, leave their old conferences in the past. But like, I don't know. That's kind of messing things up too. And I don't know, like, because I mean, you got the Power Five now; it's kind of turned into the Power Two
Exactly.
with SEC and the Big Ten. Like ACC can't really compete, Pac-12 can't really compete, and I mean the Big 12. I mean, it's just kind of taken like a turn just to be like those two conferences that are just the biggest of football.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
everybody's trying to secure their spot in the future. They don't want to get left behind. And so,
No.
but who, since we're talking SEC, top five, who do y'all have for your top five in the SEC right now?
Ooh.
Andrew, what do you think?
You want me to go first? All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. I think you got to put Alabama at the top just because the defense is there. You got the Heisman quarterback coming back. You got 5 stars leaving, going to the draft. I mean, you just got another 5-star to plug in this place. I mean, it's just kind of year in, year out. You just kind of have to, in my opinion, you just kind of have to put them at the top to start the year, unless they just have a downfall here. Then we'll talk about it. But other than that, number two.
Here's the crazy thing about that though. Sorry, quick comment.
No, you're good.
You get 5 stars just to come in to replace them, but it's not like they're freshmen. They have the chance to sit and learn 5 stars. They are developing 5 stars. They came in as 5 stars and now they are fully developed when they come in. So It's not like they're playing with freshmen and have to learn through all the curve. They've been there. So
yeah, and they can still play with those freshmen if they need to, because I mean, they're just, I don't know, they get different kind of talent. Number two, I got Georgia just because they're coming off the Natty, and they had a lot of players drafted last year on defense, but I don't think Kirby Smart's going to let them downfall. I think they're going to come in at number 2. Number 3, I got them Aggies. All right, they kind of got killed with a little bit of injuries last year, but I mean, the highest recruiting class in history. Okay, if they just, man, I think they'll be in the talk of like the top 10, top 5 teams at the end of the year. You know, if Jimbo doesn't screw up. All right, number 4, I got the boys. I got Arkansas at number 4. Okay, I got KJ Rocket again this year. We got a bigger O line. We had one of the best, if not the best, rushing offense last year in the country. All right, and I mean, O line just got better, and that defense is going to be solid if Catalan can stay healthy. You know. And then I got 2 at number 5. I got Mississippi State and I got Tennessee. Okay. Tennessee got that quarterback, got Hendon Hooker. He's kind of a player. And I mean, they got a little bit of they got an easier schedule on the East, but I mean, you know, I think they can come out and win some games. And then Mississippi State, obviously, I mean, they went 500 in conference last year. And they got a lot of returning players. They got a returning quarterback. So, I mean, I think it'd be a toss-up of 5 between those two. Or, like, kind of 4, 5, and 6 going to be kind of a toss-up behind Alabama, Georgia, and A&M for me.
Hey, Mississippi State, let me tell you something. It was they had a first-year head coach. Not a first-time head coach, first-year head coach. And their quarterback was all right, and I believe Mississippi State could be good this year. I don't know how good. We'll see. We'll see how Mississippi State can do, but I think they'll be all right. Cooper, what are your thoughts?
Man, I'm gonna surprise y'all right here.
Let's hear it.
All right. Well, number 1 isn't a surprise. It's Bama. I mean, you got to think it's Bama. Like, there's nothing else you can say. It's just Bama. Like, they do what they do. They got the GOAT as their head coach. They do what they do. And then 2, we got the Hogs. Like he said,
okay.
we got KJ. We got KJ coming back. He's dominant. He looks like a freaking linebacker out there, basically.
Okay,
like,
it's massive.
The only thing that we are lacking right now is experience at receiver. That's the only thing that we are lacking. And that is not, it's not something that is just going to tear you down. Like, going through fall camp, I have a few friends that play for Arkansas. Going through fall camp, they said that they learn something new every single day. Like, it's something that you can develop for sure. Number 3, I've got Mississippi State. And then, I mean, it speaks for itself. They've got some returning starters. It was the first-year head coach. And then, as much as I hate to say it, I got Ole Miss at 4. I hate Ole Miss.
I do too, with a passion.
But
I mean, they're gonna be good this year too, though. I mean,
They're
they
gonna
got
go
the
for
coach
two
for it.
again, and they're gonna lose. You know how it's gonna go. Arkansas just needs to kick a field goal, tie it up, go to OT, and they're gonna go for two and let KJ overthrow it.
Yeah, that was just a bad play.
oh,
That was a bad play.
anyways, just brought back my PTSD. I have Tennessee at 5 and A&M going a flunk year.
Okay. Okay.
I
I'm
think
gonna
they're due for one. I can't stand their coach, man. I cannot
A&M.
stand him. I can't.
You talking about Jimbo?
Yes.
I can't stand Jimbo either. A&M, they don't really have an up year. What is their up year? What is their 8-4?
They're
I mean,
they're hyped. They're like the Cowboys. They're hyped up every single year just to have a mediocre season.
all
It's
those Texas teams, Texas A&M, Texas Cowboys. I mean,
it's every single year.
well, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know up front. Mississippi State, not my top 5. Probably doesn't even crack my top 8 or 9. So we're gonna throw that out there. I'll start with number 5. 4 and 5. I've got like a 4-way
Uh-oh.
tie. I got LSU. They have a 3-way quarterback battle right now with and I'm expecting Nussmeier to come out and win that thing, but they got Miles Brennan, Garrett Nussmeier, I think Nussmeier, something like that, and Jaden Daniels. I like Nussmeier. He's young. He he has a lot going for him. If you watch their spring game, I feel like he was the most accurate. Jaden Daniels, he is the more athletic of the three. He can ball out a little bit. We saw that at his last school, but it was Pac-12. He was playing Pac-12 ball. What can he do in the SEC? I don't know. I don't think he transferred to be second string. So, and then Miles Brennan. Miles Brennan is the type of quarterback I think about when I think of uh, just lost his name. LSU's head coach. Uh, Brian
Oh,
Kelly.
freak. What it?
Brian
Yeah.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Uh, that's the type of quarterback I think about when I think about Brian Kelly's offense is Miles Brennan. He's proven. We know what he can do, but we also know what he can't do. So you can have a decent season under him, but how good of a season? I don't think you're gonna get anywhere special with him. I think Nussmeier has the most potential. He's young, so you give him, he'll be there for a few years. Jaden Daniels, he'll probably go 1 and out if he has a good season. So then you got to start right back over. Miles Brennan will be out after this year if he doesn't start, and he might be out even if he does start. So I think Nussmeier probably has the best chance to start there. I want him to. I think that's where they can be the most dangerous on the field. I got Ole Miss too. They got Zach Evans in the transfer portal from TCU. I think he's going to be one of the best running backs in college football this year. I think he has the potential to just blow it out of the water. Who will win? Is it Altmaier? I think Altmaier and Jackson Dart. I don't know if I'm saying that
Dart.
right.
Dart.
They are. They're competing for that start or that starting job. So we'll see. I don't know. Did you see Dart in the spring game throwing 4 picks? I don't know. I don't know who it'll be. Dart did come in with a lot of hype, but he had a couple games under his belt and then he got hurt. So can he stay healthy in SEC football? He wasn't able to do it in his first year in the Pac-12. So I guess we'll
They
see.
might fill it out at the beginning of the season too, a little bit. Especially all these schools with QB battles and stuff. They might fill it out like the first couple of games. Fortunately for us, we got KJ. So we got
Yep.
Cincinnati week 1, so we ain't got to worry about a QB battle.
Yep, you don't have to do it. My next 2 are Tennessee and South Carolina. Tennessee, just like it was said, Hendon Hooker, Josh Heupel is going to have that offense ready to go. Hendon Hooker is a phenomenal quarterback. It's sad that he didn't start for him last year to begin the season. I feel like they could have had a pretty good season if he did. I mean, he has a lot of potential. I was just watching his highlights the other day, and it's crazy how much potential he has. He has the arm and the athletic ability to extend the plays. So I'm really excited about that. Josh Heupel, OU guy, won us the national championship. So as starting quarterback, so we'll see. And then we go to the Gamecocks at South Carolina. They got a lot coming in. They got my boy Spencer Rattler.
Shut
They got
up.
Austin Stognor.
No,
Stognor.
no.
Yeah. They got my boy
Spencer.
Spencer. We'll
Spencer's
see how
gonna have to
Spencer can
prove it
be.
to me.
We
Yeah, he's gonna have to prove it to me.
that's what I was thinking. But you see what Shane Beamer did with I don't know if y'all know this or not. Last year they had a graduate assistant coach. He played quarterback. He was at a small school, transferred to South Carolina to be a coach. All their quarterbacks got hurt. They suited him up, and he started most of the season for him. And he was supposed to be a coach. And you see how they did last year at South Carolina. So now they have a high recruit in Spencer Rattler, he can be very accurate. He just has to make better decisions. So we'll
He
see
has
how
to
that
be
goes for
humbled.
them. He does
Yeah.
have to be very.
I
That's
mean,
going to be a problem.
he can be that guy though. Like, I mean, he's got to put it together, but he can be that guy for South Carolina.
He's got it all. He doesn't have to look over his shoulder at a stud like Caleb Williams this year. So maybe he can Shane Beamer can get him to put it all together for him. So that's my top, or that's my 4 and 5. That's the tie right there. For 3, I really don't have a 3. I have a 2A and 2B instead. 2A, I got to go with Georgia. I don't know what they're going to do this year. I mean, they have a lot of talent that left, a lot, and it's going to be very hard to replace it. But I mean, you got to give them the respect. They're always there, always. So you got to give them the respect. They just won the national championship, so that's where they're going to sit until proven otherwise. I mean, who'd they lose to last year? Bama, and then they turn around and beat Bama 2 games later. So we'll see. It's a lot to replace. I don't think Stetson should be starting, as I think most of the country thinks. I mean, he won the national championship, but you got
With the best defense.
you got 3 highly touted quarterbacks.
That was one of the best defenses I've probably ever seen in college football.
It was
Seriously.
ridiculous. And Stetson's got a lot of heat behind him too. I don't know if Kirby's going to actually make him feel that heat, but you got 2 5-stars, and there's one more. I think he was a high 4, or he might have been a 5 right behind him. And so we'll see how that all plays out there. At 2B, I got Arkansas. I love Arkansas's defense. I love Drew Sanders, who came over from Alabama. Starting at Alabama, got hurt like we just discussed, and got replaced by another 5-star who came and showed out. And that's not his fault. He was doing great at Bama too. So he wanted to start somewhere. He came to Arkansas. So now they have a great linebacking core again, just like they did last year. I think their safeties and corners, I think they're going to be good. I think they have a lot of potential too. Their D line, we'll see how it goes. I think they'll have one of the better ones in the conference, but that one's kind of wishy-washy for me. Their offense, I think it all starts with up front. I think up front they've got it. They got it down on the O-line. I think Sam Pittman has always had one of the best O-lines. So, and with KJ, I love KJ. All KJ has to do, hopefully this offseason, he got more consistent. That's all he has to do. Throwing the ball, he needs to be more consistent, and he needs to be able to protect himself from those big hits that take him out, just like in the Texas A&M game last year. Luckily, Arkansas had it in the bag already. So I think KJ could be the best quarterback in college football this year if he can put it all together. So he's got to get a little bit more consistent throwing the ball.
I like this statement.
He's got to get a little bit more consistent throwing the football, and he's got to be able to protect himself more. I think Arkansas is the best running back group, stable in all of college football as well. I love all 3 of them. They have a 3-headed monster back there, and if you include KJ, that's 4. I don't know how you stop it. I don't. But then I love Trey Knox. I'm a big believer in Trey Knox at tight end. I think you give him the opportunity, he can show out too. And out wide, you got some wide receivers that need to prove a little bit of something. You got Jaden Hazelwood coming over from Oklahoma. He's a big time 50-50 ball. He can go up and catch it, but he's not. I personally haven't really seen him do much after the catch. So he can make the catch. What can he do after? Spring game, he looked like he had the brace off, and he looked like he was feeling good. He was wearing a green jersey, but we'll see. I think that'll be KJ's number 1 target this year. You got a few guys under him too that are young, and I think he can help guide them too. So I think the gap between Arkansas and Georgia is a lot closer than the gap between Georgia and my number 1 Alabama. I think Alabama stands head and shoulders over the rest of the SEC and, quite frankly, all of college football.
Yeah.
I think they
Yeah.
get a returning Heisman winner. They get Georgia's #1 wide receiver. They get a couple fast guys, from they got one from Louisville and they got another one. I think it might have been the recruiting class, but so they get Bryce Young back. They get an amazing running back in Gibbs. He's going to be an animal this year. Of course, their offensive line's always right, and Nick Saban's going to have that defense up to par when it comes time. So I think it's not even close between Alabama and the rest of college football,
No.
much less at the SEC. So, and I think Arkansas and Georgia are fighting it out right now. Last year, obviously Georgia smacked it on Arkansas, but they smacked it on everybody else too. So
they did.
Georgia's got a lot of hype. Georgia's got a lot of hype. I mean, I can't expect much less because they did just win the Natty, but you got to think of how many starters they're losing, dude. Like, let me just look it up.
I think almost half the defense.
I'm pretty sure it was 17 starters were drafted.
Yeah, they lost top two running backs, #1 wide receiver. Yeah, I don't really care about the wide receivers though because they have 3 of the best tight ends in the nation in one room. So let's and they're already talking about putting Eric Gilbert out there at wide receiver, and then they're going to run 2 tight end sets and run the ball down everybody's throat and then throw it up when they need to. That's all Stetson has to do.
So we got about 6 more minutes left. We're gonna close it off on this question. Who do y'all think is going to be the dark horse in college football this year? Like, just
win the Heisman
and Natty. Like,
Natty. All right. I'll go ahead and go. All right. So for my Heisman, I've got for my #1, I kind of have to go with the favorite, CJ Stroud. I mean, he did lose Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, but I mean, he's got Marvin Harrison Jr. and Jackson Smith coming in. So, like, I mean, their defense is gonna be really good to kind of get him the ball back on offense. I think if he can just kind of end the year and they're in the college football talk or college football playoffs, I think he's got a real good chance to win it. My kind of more of a dark horse pick than that is Bijan Robinson, running back. Bijan Robinson. I think he's a freaking stud. And I mean, I think he's got a chance to win the Heisman again if CJ Stroud just can't pull it out. I'm gonna go ahead and just say my team. I mean, I think I'm gonna go with Ohio State with this one. Okay. I think it's gonna be Ohio State and Alabama in the Natty. I think that would be a good game. Both teams are pretty stellar, but I'm gonna go with Ohio State.
And Bijan was going to be one of mine too. I was going to have 2. Thanks for doing that for me. So now I can have 1. For my dark horse Heisman, I got to go with KJ. I love me some KJ Jefferson. I think KJ can have a fantastic year both throwing the ball and running the ball. He just has to take care of it. Like I said, take care of it and be more consistent and take care of himself. Taking care of himself is one of the biggest things because you can't win football games. You can't win Heismans if you're not playing football. So taking care of himself is probably the biggest one, but he's got to get more consistent throwing the ball. And if he does that, I think he's going to be right up there. I think it's going to be scary. So, and for my team, I got my boys, Oklahoma. So listen, our defense has always been bad under Lincoln Riley. So we go out and we get the top defensive coordinator in the nation. Our defense is going to be leaps and bounds better. I'm not saying it's going to be top 5 or top 10. We may be, but I don't think we'll get there yet. But it will be at least top 20. I mean, at one point during Lincoln Riley's time at Oklahoma, we were like 130. So top 30 even is 10 times better than what we were. So we're going to have a better defense in our offense. If you look at our offense, I mean, Lincoln Riley's great, yes, but so is Jeff Lebby. Jeff Lebby and all of his offense from UCF, Baylor, and Ole Miss. Ole Miss in the SEC too was top 5 in yards and scoring. So Our offense may take a little bit of a step back, but it won't be a lot. So we're still going to be able to score a lot of points and stop a lot more than we were. So I think Oklahoma is a great dark horse choice for winning the Natty.
All
All
right,
right.
Coop.
See, I'm gonna go Natty first. I got Mississippi State winning the Natty this year,
Oh my goodness.
dude.
Oh,
It
I
it,
love it.
it kills me because I hate them. I hate them, but I just have a feeling like I just I couldn't explain it because there's no reason that they should win the Natty at all. I got them in Arkansas. Arkansas. I've already explained everything about Arkansas. You're gonna have to stop KJ, and you're gonna have to stop the amazing running back room that we have. It's insane the amount of power that we have in that running
Yeah,
back
it
room.
really is.
And then Heisman, I've got KJ. Dude, I mean, yes, he's losing Burks, but if he can find his go-to receiver and if he can be more accurate and make better decisions than last year, he was a top 10 quarterback last year and it didn't even look like he was comfortable. But imagine this year, he gets comfortable, he starts knowing what he can do. I think it's game over. But
I
we
like
get
it. I like it.
we got
All right. Anybody else have anything else to say?
Now we got 60 seconds left.
All right. It's time. I guess we're gonna wrap it up with that. Again, please like and subscribe. Let us know what you think. Turn that notification bell on, so you know when we post. I'm not sure what days we'll be posting, but it'll be regularly throughout the week. Comment who is your dark horse to win the Heisman and the national championship. We'd love to hear from you guys, and maybe we'll respond from to a few of you. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll see y'all next time.
peace.
Peace.